Okay, so I've gotten over 1 million views in the last year on this channel, actually about 1.1. And most of those were actually in the last part of the year. And I've noticed that there are three main things that tend to kill your channel, especially in 2025, in terms of where we are with the algorithm and how it actually works best as it's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So we've gotten away with these things in the past, and I can speak for myself that it's getting hard. It's hard to let go of these old habits, but we have to focus on the things that are changing moving forward and working moving forward, because certain things are definitely not working anymore. So you really want to shake off these old habits to make sure that you're not going to be killing your growth. The first thing is that you want to be defining what growth is for you. Now, obviously, if you're just chasing views and you're an entertainment channel, then okay, yes, you just want to go viral as much as possible and get as many views as possible. But for those of us in the education side, we know we're never going to make a full-time living from views, and chasing viral views, especially where most videos don't tend to go viral these days, is a very up and down sort of stressful journey where you're going to be not knowing where your views are coming from. And, okay, if you're happy uploading 10 videos and maybe one going viral, then maybe that's fine for you. Maybe that's enough. But it's a difficult way to live, and chasing viral views, not fans, is actually going to put you at a disadvantage in 2025 because YouTube really loves relevancy and it loves engagement. And this is how it's really, the platform is getting flooded with lots of AI content. So more content is not an issue on YouTube. Understanding what's good, what people want, what keeps people on the platform, what people will keep watching is even more important. And generalist channels are starting to struggle a little bit on YouTube. You may have seen it yourself. Generalist channels that create videos on just about any type of topic out there are maybe starting to get fewer views. The amount of views that they've got for their subscriber base is really, really low. They maybe got 500,000 views, and they're getting like 10, 20,000 views per video. So we're seeing these drops for these generalist channels that really went after the views and not creating sort of raving fans. So now it's really about engagement more. And we can see this if we come across to my channel. You'll see that if I go for the last 90 days, I've gotten 400,000 views, but the returning viewers are low. And this is something that I need to focus on. And it's because I've been bouncing around all over the place with my content. But I really want returning views to be about 20%. So ideally, this should be 100,000. So this for the last 90 days, and it's varying, and sometimes the last sort of 30 days has not been that bad. But overall, this is because I've been jumping around and changing niche and tweaking my avatar slightly. So you really want to be making, especially as, say, an educational channel, making sure that you're getting those returning viewers, because this shows you that you've tapped into who you're targeting and you're actually being able to get them to keep coming back for more and more of your content. And an example of this is this guy. So Aurelius, he is, if I'm saying that name right, he's great. So I'm not worried about this guy at all. He's doing absolutely fantastically. Most of the money he's making will be from his own products and affiliate products. But you can see that even he's realizing the change. He's realizing that you need to connect on more of an authentic level. Now, it's probably because he's not enjoying creating the content anymore because he was getting fewer views. Now, I can't speak for him, but I can generally make a guess at the way it's gone. So if we look at this, he's got over 500,000 subscribers. And then we look at his videos, 1.7, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 3.5 thousand, 10,000, 3.3, 10, he's getting on average 10,000 views for 500,000 subscribers. That means most of his subscribers are now dead. Now, this is because he was a generalist channel. He was doing reviews of lots of different products. Some people will be coming through search. He'll be making a boatload in affiliate income, but he's realizing that YouTube is now giving him fewer and fewer views in terms of the recommended side. So he needs to engage with that audience and create a more real fan, people that are going to want to keep coming back. And you can see this, he addressed it in this video, said he's going to start creating more vlog content and that he's going to start being more authentic and bringing some of his life in. So he understands that probably with AI and everything else, and I think he maybe mentioned this in the side, you want to connect more with your audience. So he's starting to do a little bit more vlog style and also bringing that in along with still doing the product views and the core of what he's doing and everything else. So some studio, some outside the studio. So you really have to make sure that you're creating fans and you're engaging with people and you're remaining relevant and they keep coming back. So that is really, really important. The next point is not having the right avatar and making sure that you're creating videos that they actually want if you do. Now, for many of us, we're not quite aligned with the avatar. I've been tweaking mine slightly, and I will put a link to our community if you want more training on how you actually do this, coming up with your right niche angle and selecting the right avatar so that you know who you're making. Because your avatar and your niche is a lot like your GPS. You need to know where you're going. But what happens with a lot of us is that we don't want to get pigeonholed into creating content for a particular individual. So we kind of branch out a bit more. We start making videos that we kind of think they might like rather than what they actually do want. Maybe we make our avatar too broad and we start making more generalist content again. And it's the curse of being a YouTuber. We don't want to get stuck and we don't want to lose that creativity. But you have to ask yourself, what are you doing? Like if YouTube is getting better at sharing, understanding who the avatar is for your channel and what content they're going to want. So even looking on a video level, they're not going to share all your videos out to them because they'll realize you made this video, but I don't think they're going to like it. So I won't share that to them. So the issue here is that if you're trying to grow a business, you have to just create content that they want. Yes, maybe it's boring. Maybe you think you're boring your audience, but you're not. They need to see the same content done in different ways over and over and over. They will not get bored of this because a lot of the time they're coming to a decision of what to do. They need a bit of inspiration. They need some wisdom. They need some tips. They need some support. But you're helping them with that particular part. And, you can branch out in other ways, but you really have to focus in on what it is that they actually need from you and want from you. So yes, maybe it's boring, but if you were running ads and you had ads that were working, you would keep running the same ads. And YouTube, in a way, is no different. And if you understand the problems of the avatar, you can still get creative. You just have to make sure that you're focusing on the actual goals and desire of that avatar. So every time I've created videos that weren't for my avatar, they have done worse. So if we look at this, let's say, so I've got generalist channels are dead. This is a video that I wanted to create to talk about something that I was seeing. Wasn't really that interesting to the audience at all. I started talking about not starting a side hustle in your 40s. Again, what was that about? It kind of did okay because I tapped into a trending thing, but you would argue that my audience didn't like it, started getting some thumbs downs when normally I don't, so they didn't really resonate with it. Then I did one about the new vlogging style, the grandpa method, and this was very beginner-friendly type of content, and it obviously did very, very well, went viral, still producing a lot of views, and it really connected with the audience. Then I went on to a video, why going viral can destroy your channel, because I really believe that going viral is not necessarily the most important thing that we should think about. But again, terrible. No one cares because everybody does want to go viral. Everybody does want to get views. They just want to grow. They don't necessarily want someone telling them that they shouldn't be going viral. So wasn't that much of an interest. The videos that were doing well were the videos saying how to go viral. So I should have maybe been focusing again on the beginner. And necessarily, the beginner doesn't necessarily care about going viral as much as they do about growing, just getting started in the first place. So when I did a video about just starting a YouTube channel, getting started, the things that you need to know about starting a YouTube channel, especially in January, again, very good, went viral, still doing very well. 3 mistakes that will keep your channel small. Okay, this one underperformed, I think, but still did okay, sort of above the channel average still. Again, the future of vlogging, new vlogging styles, performed well. Then I did one for starting a channel in 2025. Again, getting started, did pretty well. Easy mode for beginners. Again, very, getting started again, 40,000 views. So you're seeing this even with the vlog one, they're showing the first vlog. So this was more probably people interested in seeing how I was doing with my first outdoor vlog, but still relevant to the beginner because it was a beginner video for me doing something new. And then we have finding your niche. Again, did very well. This one brought in, a lot of new members and people engaged with this. This is a great educational video. Didn't necessarily, I think it underperformed for what it is. It was maybe a little bit too niche, but still beginner friendly, still performed above the sort of viewing average. And then I did one about how I saw, it was more of a mindset one about the roller coaster journey that is YouTube and underperformed. So you're seeing the pattern here. Every time I make videos that I think I want to make, that my avatar would be interested in, but they're videos that I want to make, chances are I'm making videos for me and not for them. So you have to ask yourself, if you're trying to grow a business and you're trying to grow your channel and you're trying to make videos, are you making it for them? Are you making it for your avatar? Are you helping them, or are you making videos that you want to make? And it's fine to make videos that you want to make, but just be aware that your avatar isn't necessarily going to like them. So you either find people who are like you and are interested in the things that you want, and you become more of an influencer. Because if you become an influencer, then you are the niche. And if you are the niche, then you can create videos on anything you want. So maybe you're an influencer. If you want to be an influencer, that's fine. But if you want to grow a niche channel and a business and an educational channel, then you need to be helping your avatar. And the last one is chasing trends too blindly. Like, not really understanding if a trend is a video level trend or if a trend is a channel level trend. And sometimes I see a lot of channels, they grow, they get viral videos, they do very well, and they think they've nailed YouTube and they fully understand it, and that the topic of the sort of trend is their actual niche. And they start to build their channel around it, but then the bubble of that trend pops, just like any trend does, gets saturated, goes down, people are less interested in it, the sort of buzz terms fade out, and you lose it. You lose that momentum. And it's because it was more of a trending search term than it was your actual niche and avatar. So you have to be mindful of these trends and making sure that you're not falling into the trap. And I nearly did as well for this one. I nearly fell into it because it was a good example of this was the over 40s sort of channel trap. Everybody was creating videos for over 40s, over 50s, over 60s. And I think it was potentially, to a degree, for some people, a channel level, second level. So I like to add second layers to my niches. So it's something that I've recommended in other videos. So YouTube growth, I've then got more of the vlogging minimalist style. And I thought maybe over 40s would be a good angle for me to take. And maybe in some ways, because more people over 40 are probably going to relate to me, it is something that I could implement, but I don't have to keep mentioning it and going on and on and on and on about it, because that was probably a video level thing. So I did a few videos on this. You could say that the grandpa method one indirectly related to that, and it did bring in that sort of over 40s demographic, but it was more about the laid back style and the examples used in it and the grandpa method I was talking about. But then I did a couple of videos over 40, and they did okay. So they didn't do too bad at all. But, and here's the thing, everybody was creating videos on this over 40 part. And a few of them sort of set their identity onto this. And I don't have anything against that. I mean, that's fantastic. But you need to understand at some point, over 40 YouTubers, they were just being underserved. So it was a trending opportunity where they wanted more content that was focusing on them and knowing that they could do it and being inspired to do it. So it was motivational, it was educational, it was saying, look, you can still do it, it's not too late and everything else. So that was great. And there will always be an element of that. But as saturation, reaches, the demand and the views goes down because it becomes less relevant, because essentially all YouTubers are YouTubers. You've got different goals and everything else, and you can speak more to that person. So that could just be an element of your avatar. But speaking to that, if I built a channel around over 40s YouTubers, it might not have worked. But if I was into fitness, then it becomes more relevant because the age part becomes a little bit more relevant. Because if I was a yoga channel and I was doing it for seniors, then obviously I'm going to be speaking to them because maybe I'm doing chair yoga. The exercises are relevant for sort of, let's say, the over 60s market and everything else. So therefore, I could build a channel around that. So it would be channel level. But in terms of YouTube and the over 40s part, it's less relevant. Even over 60s, it doesn't really matter that much. You're going to be using the same technology. You're going to be doing the same methods. You're going to be doing the same stuff. So it's important to ask yourself if you are in a trending bubble or whether or not it's a channel level thing that you can really make as a second layer or layer of your actual niche itself. So you've got to be very mindful of that. Otherwise, what happens is you ride the upward sort of trend upwards and it's going really, really well. And then when you crash and you can't get out of it and you don't understand why, it's probably because people aren't actively looking for what you've based your niche on. So yeah, just be mindful of what's trending, and then also, you know, what is channel level stuff. So don't get stuck into that. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna get pigeonholed, or you're basically gonna lose out on views later on when that dies. So there you go. I hope you found that useful. If you would like more help growing your channel, then I will link to our community in the video description. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you inside the next one.